I was dead. My soul left my body. I thought I would enter paradise. I thought Allah would welcome me. But what I saw terrified me. I always believed that when a Muslim dies, if they have been faithful, they will see the angels of mercy, who will take them to Jannah. But that's not what happened to me. I was walking home late at night. The streets were quiet, and the air was cold. I remember pulling my jacket tighter around me as I walked. My mind was heavy with thoughts. Just days earlier, I had been confronted about my faith, about the questions I had been asking, the books I had been reading. My family was already suspicious. My friends had started to distance themselves. I knew I was being watched. Then I heard footsteps behind me. At first, I didn't think much of it. It was normal for people to be out at this hour. But then the footsteps got faster, closer. My heart began to pound. Before I could turn around, pain, a sharp burning pain, shot through my side. I gasped. The force knocked me off balance. I stumbled forward, my hands clutching my stomach. Warm blood soaked through my clothes. My legs gave out beneath me, and I collapsed onto the cold pavement. I tried to scream, but my voice wouldn't come. I could barely breathe. I could hear them running away. I could hear the distant sounds of the city, the faint hum of cars passing by. But it all started to fade. My vision blurred. My body felt numb. And then everything went black. I was gone, but I was still aware. I could see my body lying on the ground. I could see the blood pooling around me. I could hear muffled voices, distant, like echoes in a tunnel. I felt myself being pulled away, separating from the world I had always known. I thought I would see light. I thought I would feel peace. But instead, I felt something else. Darkness. It surrounded me, pulling me down. It was endless, suffocating. I tried to cry out, but my voice was gone. I tried to reach for something, anything, but there was nothing to hold on to. Fear gripped me in a way I had never known before. I had been taught all my life that if I followed Islam, if I prayed, if I obeyed, I would be safe. But in that moment, I realized I wasn't safe. I called on Allah. Ya Allah, help me. But there was no answer. The darkness only grew deeper, and then a light, brighter than anything I had ever seen. It cut through the darkness, piercing it like a sword. And then I heard a voice unlike any I had ever heard before. It was powerful but full of love. It called my name, Ali. I tried to see who it was, and then I saw him. At that moment, everything I had ever believed was shattered. But before I tell you what I saw, before I tell you the truth of what happened next, I need to tell you how I got here. I was born into a devout Shiite Muslim family in Iran. From the moment I could understand words, I was taught that my purpose in life was to serve Allah, to obey without question, and to follow the laws of Islam with all my heart. My father was a strict man, a respected figure in the community, and he made sure that our household followed every Islamic rule without compromise. My mother, though softer, was just as devoted. She would whisper prayers over me as a child, telling me that if I stayed faithful, Allah would bless me and protect me from hellfire. My earliest memories are of my father waking me up before dawn for Fajr prayer. From a young age, I was taught that paradise and hell were very real places, and that every action I took would either bring me closer to Allah's mercy or closer to His wrath. This fear of punishment gripped me, so I did everything I could to be the perfect Muslim. One of the most defining aspects of my childhood was the annual commemoration of Ashura, the day we mourn the martyrdom of Imam Hussein. Every year, I would march in the streets alongside thousands of others, beating my chest in unison with the men around me. Some used chains, whipping their backs until blood ran down their robes. I remember looking up to the religious leaders, the ones who stood at the front of the mosques, preaching about righteousness and the laws of Islam. They were the ones we were taught to admire, to follow without question. But as I grew older, I started noticing things that troubled me. It was not just the religious leaders. The entire system around me felt heavy with hypocrisy. I saw how women were treated, forced to cover themselves, to live in constant fear of making the slightest mistake. I saw young men arrested and beaten for speaking against the government. I tried to ignore these thoughts. I tried to convince myself that the problem wasn't with Islam, but with the people. I told myself that if I just prayed more, if I obeyed more, the doubts would go away. But they didn't. Deep inside, I felt something was missing. It happened on a quiet afternoon. I was in the market, minding my own business, when I met a man who would change my life forever. He was a shopkeeper, an older man with kind eyes and a peaceful presence. At some point in our conversation, he looked at me and said, "Do you know that Jesus loves you?" I was stunned. No one had ever said those words to me before. In secret, I found a copy of the Gospel of John. I remember sitting in my room, heart pounding, as I opened the pages. I was terrified. If my family found out, I didn't know what they would do. And then, I read the words that would shake me to my core. I am the way, the truth, and the life. No one comes to the Father except through me. I thought I could keep it a secret. But secrets don't last long in a place like Iran. It started with small things. My father noticed I was no longer as devoted to my prayers. Then one day, my brother walked into my room unexpectedly and saw the Gospel of John on my bed. I will never forget the look on his face. It was not just shock. It was disgust, fear, betrayal. My father's voice thundered through the walls. My mother wept. My uncles arrived, their faces filled with rage. "You are a traitor," my father shouted. "You have shamed us all." They called me a kafir, an infidel, they said. I tried to explain. I tried to tell them that I wasn't rejecting them. I was only searching for the truth. I was already dead from that moment. I was no longer their son, no longer their brother. I was an outcast, and my friends stopped talking to me. Neighbors looked at me differently. I could feel the walls closing in. I knew I wasn't safe. And then one night, they came for me. I was walking home, my heart heavy with everything I had lost. The streets were quiet, the air cold. Then I heard footsteps behind me fast, intentional. I turned too late. I saw their faces. Faces I had known all my life. Friends I had prayed with. Men I had trusted. But there was no mercy in their eyes. Only hatred before I could say anything. Pain shot through my body, a knife deep into my side. I gasped, stumbling back, my hands clutching the wound as warm blood poured through my fingers. Another blow, this time to my back. My legs gave out, and I collapsed onto the cold pavement. I could hear their voices, but they sounded far away. "Kafir, you deserve this." Then silence. The world around me darkened. My body felt heavy. I tried to breathe, but the pain was too much. And then nothing. I was gone. I felt my body grow cold. The pain faded, replaced by a strange numbness. Then something impossible happened. I was looking down at myself. My lifeless body lay on the ground. Blood pooling beneath my eyes were open, but empty. People who had done this were gone, leaving me there like a discarded object. I wanted to scream, to move, to tell someone that I was still here. But no one could hear me. No one could see me. Then I felt it, a force like unseen hands grabbing me, pulling me away. I tried to resist, to fight, but I was powerless. My surroundings blurred, twisting into something unnatural. The air grew heavy, thick, suffocating, and then darkness endless, terrifying a void with no end. I had always believed that when I died, I would see paradise. I had followed the laws, recited the prayers, suffered for Allah's sake. But there was no light, no gardens, no angels, only blackness. And then I heard it, a voice unlike any voice I had ever known, powerful yet gentle, fierce yet filled with love. Ali, I am the way, the truth, and the life. I gasped for air. My body convulsed as pain rushed back into me like a flood. My eyes shot open, and I was blinded by bright white lights. Voices echoed around me, urgent, frantic. As I lay in that hospital bed, trying to make sense of everything, a nurse came into my room. She was different from the others, gentle, kind. One evening, as she adjusted my IV, she looked at me and smiled. Ali, I've been praying for you. After I was discharged, I knew I could never go back to my old life. I had to follow the truth, no matter the cost. And then came the day of my baptism. It had to be done in secret. A small room, a handful of trusted believers, a basin of water. If you're watching this right now, I want you to know something. You are not here by accident. I spent my entire life searching for God. I thought I knew Him. I thought I was serving Him, but I was blind. Jesus is real. He is alive, and He is calling your name, just as He called mine. I should have died that night. I should have been lost forever. But Jesus gave me life, and He can do the same for you. I was dead, but now I am alive, and so can you. God bless you.
If you have a powerful, faith-filled testimony, let us share it with the world. God bless you.